Hi, very warm welcome to Dusty Shelf Collectibles. So, a bit of a restoration job today. This is a Hornby Dublo 8F, probably about early 1960s, metal bodied, and it's a non-runner. I've had it for quite a while. It's never run. I put it on the test track a minute ago just before starting the video, and lots of smoke coming out of it, no movement at all. So, challenge today, take this over to the bench, strip it down, try and find out what's wrong with it. I have no idea what's inside these. I've not done one of these before, so the challenge is, without looking at any YouTube instruction videos or anything like that, I'm just going to go for it and see if I can find out what the problem is. As always with these videos, this is just me enjoying my hobby. This isn't meant to give any guidance. Obviously, if there's something in here that you can take away, that's fantastic, but if you want to know how to do these things properly, there's lots of YouTubers that do instructional videos. I like to set myself a challenge and not investigate this at all, not read up on it, and just open it up and see where it takes me. So that's what I'm going to do today. So with that said, let's get it over to the bench and let's get it working. So let me show you what it's doing. I'm not going to keep this power on too long, because if I put the power on, you can see inside the cab the wisp of smoke there as something shorting. So there's definitely something awry, but it's not moving at all. With any power on, there's nothing there. As I say, something is shorting out. So let's get it over to the bench and let's strip it down and see if we can find out what's wrong with it. It's the actual body of the loco. It's not in too bad condition. We've got some marks on the tender there. I will try and scrub those out and maybe touch those in with a bit of paint, but otherwise it's not, doesn't look too bad, to be honest. Metal bodied, as I said earlier. So yeah, let's get into it and see what we can find. Now, first thing I'm going to do, I'm just going to bring in an old piece of card so I don't wreck the new one. Something that I've done some repairs on before. Let's get the tender off of here. Just put that to one side. Right, let's get the front bogey off. Right, where do we... Right, I'm guessing it's these two. You see these two fixings at the back here. That's one. That's two. Any movement at all yet on the chassis? Right, there's one in the chimney there as well. Maybe that's the key one. So as I said, to get the enjoyment out of this, I very rarely, well, I don't look up how to fix this. I just jump straight in and see what I can find. Right, there's quite a different motor there. I've not seen one of those before. So let's take out the brushes and yeah, see what we got in here. That's one side off. Let's have a look at the pickups. I'm not too sure, to be honest. Should be a little ball bearing in there. Yeah, that's still in there. Okay. Slide this side out. Let's keep going. There's a big screw at the bottom here. That's the one to bring the motor out. That's the one. Okay. Now I'm just going to desolder this so I can get the motor. Actually, no, I'll leave it attached. There's no need to do that. we got in here? Doesn't look too dirty. Armature's a bit grubby. There is a broken wire on there though. Yeah. See that wire there? There's just this tiny little broken wire. So I might solder that back in. Let's just see if the others are. Right, let's have a look at that first of all. Yeah, that should be a fairly straightforward fix to solder that back onto there. So let's do that first of all. Just get my soldering iron. These wheels feel they're not too bad in terms of their cleanliness, but they certainly feel a little bit hard to turn. So I think I'll give those a quick clean over with some soapy water and then a good oil. Let's do this bit first. It's not warmed up yet. Yep. Okay. That's pretty good. Right, let's get this cleaned up. So I've got it on the armature. Okay, that looks pretty good. Right, turn the soldering iron off. Clock over. And one of my viewers recommended this to me, and this is contact cleaner from WD-40, and I've used it a couple of times. It brings up these armatures, that brings them up lovely. Right, let's just clean out inside the housing. Right, before I go any further, I'm going to pop the motor back in just to see if that has made any difference at all. And that was all that was wrong with it, was a simple wire hanging out the side. Right, I'm going to go and give this a quick bench test. Well, having a good look at this, I actually think there's probably an issue with the wiring, with the winding, I mean. So, for two reasons. One, because I've never done it before, and I need to give it a try. And secondly, because I think there's a problem with it. I'm going to try and rewire this armature, I think. So let's just snip these off. And let's get it unwound. Right, so I've cleaned off the armature there. As I unwound the wires before, there was all kinds of paths that they were making, so I think somebody had probably tried to rewire it in the past, and maybe it hadn't been too successful. So I'm going to start from scratch. Now, do keep in mind, I've never done this before, and I'm going to follow what I read in a book. Whether this is right or wrong, I will find out at the end. So, let me just, we take the wire and we place it onto the armature like that, and then we wrap it around the first, I don't know what you call it, triangle, wrap it around the first third. Now what I want to do is try and keep note of how many turns I put on here. I'm probably going to put about 150 on, so I'm going to carry on and do that. I'll come back in a minute. 150 turns on there. So now I'm going to lift this up, hook it over the top of this piece of solder here, bring it back down and make sure that I rotate the same way again, which is around here, and start the second lot. 2, 3, 4. That's 150, so now I'm going to do exactly the same again, create a loop and start winding another 150. 1, 2, 3. There we go. So now I'm going to solder all my little wires back onto the top of the armature very carefully. Right, so I've soldered those wires in. I'm just going to trim them back now. Right, so it's not the neatest of jobs, but I've soldered the wires on there, and I've just filed it back so they're not touching where the brushes would be on the armature, so where the brushes run, to just make it nice and smooth. So that's that done. What I want to do is I just want to, if I can, remagnetize the magnet. So you've seen me use this device before. I'll just reach over and get it, which is this thing. Basically, I've said it many times, but you put the magnet between the two bars here and you push the button, and it magnetizes, puts some power back into the magnet. Now it does say a direction on here, which is north. Basically, you just hold a compass up to the magnet and work out which direction is north, and that's the way round that it goes into the machine. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. As always, I'm not going to do it on camera because it creates a hell of a magnetic field, and I don't want my phone, my camera or anything near it when I push the button. So I'm going to go and do that, and I'll be back in a moment. Right, that's that bit done. So I've put some strength back in that magnet, hopefully it's around the right way. So let's get the armature back together. I'm just going to put a tiny bit of oil in the bearings if I can find it. Slide the armature in. Oh, that's a really strong magnet now. Right, and then tiniest bit on the top bearing. Just wipe the excess off there. Right, slide this in round the right way, which is like that. Okay, and then there's these two screws to do up. Another couple of screws to go in, but I've managed to knock everything everywhere, so let me just find those. There's one, there's the other one. Now I have disconnected the suppressor on top of here, just to take that out of the equation. So you can see I've just cut through the cable there, just to, you know, so that it's not, you know, it's not that that's causing an issue. I don't really need them on there anymore anyway, so I probably won't reconnect that. So let's put the brushes in. There's one, and there's the other one. Okay, and then let's just move the springs to hold the brushes onto the motor. That's one. And that's the other one. Hold on. There it goes. Right. Let's go and put a little bit of power through the motor. Oh, actually, sorry, I haven't adjusted the bearing, have I? So let's just take the lock, undo the lock nut for a second. Just going to wind that in and then come back a little bit of a turn. Right, I'll just get a spanner to do that up, and let's go and give it a run. Right, Right, I don't have any power wires over here, so all I'm going to do is just lower the motor down onto the test track. Let's just see if we got power. Look at that. I'm really pleased with that, especially with something I've not done before. Let's test it in the other direction. Let's have a look. Brilliant. So next job, let's go back to the engine and let's give that a clean. I'm so pleased with that motor. I was looking at the armature and I could see wires going all over the place. It looked like somebody had had a go at rewiring it. So as I say, I've never done one of those before, so that's an absolutely new thing for me, and I'm chuffed to bits that the motor's back running. So what next? Right, I'm going to go and give this, not going to strip down this at all, because it does look like it's barely had any running, or somebody's given it a good clean in the past. I'm just going to go and clean it over with soapy water and give it a good oil and see if I can free it up a little bit. The motion's quite nice, but it's just not free spinning enough. So I think give it a little service while I'm here. Why not? Same with the body. Give that a quick going over with some soapy water, give it a clean, and then just down the side here, I'm just going to try and touch it in with a little bit of paint. And then on the tender, it's a shame that the British Rail logo's gone on the sides here, but I'm just going to leave those, and then again try and touch in where the paint's disappeared and give it a good clean. So I'm just going to drop the top off the tender if this works. Undoing this screw in the middle, just so this, yeah, there you go. So that means I can go and clean that, clean these two bits separately. Actually, that doesn't look like it needs anything, so we'll leave that to one side. So let me go and give these a clean. As I say, all I'm going to use is soapy water and a toothbrush, and give them a good clean over, and then re-oil them and see how they come out. Cleaned up rather nicely. This is much freer now. It's got a little bit of oil on there, so that's good. And then in terms of these, all I plan to do is just gently touch in some of the worst damaged parts, not repaint it, just try and hide some of the marks. So let's make a start on that. Right, let's just slide this motor back in, and then we'll solder that wire back on and go and see if this has worked. Right, that's the motor in. Okay, I'm going to get rid of all the old wires that were on here and just solder this one wire back in. So just cut this end off. Okay, let's go and give it a test run. Okay, let me just give it a little bit of power. Well, that's a nice little runner. I'm really pleased with that. Let's just try a slow speed. Ooh, a little bit too fast there. Not bad at all. Very pleased with that. Okay, let's finish off the body. Let's get the body back on the engine. So just slides on the front there. Perfect, like that. And we had bolt down through the chimney. Two fixings at the rear. Where you can see the motor in the cab in this, which was not very discreet, but never mind. Just loosen that one off a little bit. That's better. I can line these up properly. Tighten that one down. Noticed a couple of other marks that I will come back and touch in at some point. Do that later on this evening once I've finished the video, just around the chimney and one of the pipes on the side needs a little bit of could do with a little bit more paint on there just to finish it off. Right, but anyway, that's back together. Let's go and run it on the test track. Right, let's give it a little test. Well, I'm over the moon with that. I'd call that a success. Yeah, very pleased with it, and as I say, looking at the armature, it looked like somebody had tried to rewire it before, but there's wires going all over the place and making the wrong connections. I don't know a lot about electronics, but I thought I'd give that a go, and yeah, quite a success. So really pleased with it, and I'll just touch in a little bit of paint around the chimney here just to finish it off. I'm not sure about this coal. I made that a gloss finish and it doesn't look right, but it'll do. It looks the part, and I do love these old engines, as you know. So anyway, we'll leave that one there. I hope that was of interest. If you haven't subscribed, please have a look at the channel. There's plenty of videos on there, and hopefully there's something of interest there for you. And if you can subscribe, you'd be doing me a massive favour. Anyway, as I say, we'll leave that one there. Thank you ever so much for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.